14, a local Denver journalist taking the plunge into the world of podcasting, asking an important question. Why are we so fascinated with Bigfoot, with the Sasquatch? Joining us this morning with some of the answers is Laura Krantz from Wild Thing Podcast. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. It's interesting how you got into this, because you weren't a lifelong Bigfoot fanatic by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I mean, Bigfoot was sort of a tabloid fodder.
Yeah.
You know, I had Bigfoot's baby, or Bigfoot lives in my basement, National Enquirer. And then there's Harry and the Hendersons, which I think most people
Love
have
that
seen.
movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But it was just kind of a joke, a campfire story. And then I was reading the Washington Post back in 2006. Saw an article about a guy named Grover Krantz and thought, hey, same last name. What's this guy's story? He was a tenured professor of anthropology at Washington State. And then at the end of the article, there's this whole thing about how he had spent a good portion of his life looking for Bigfoot up in the Pacific Northwest. And I thought, this guy's got a science background, he's got a degree, he's got a tenured position at a good university.
Yeah.
And he believes in Bigfoot.
There's got to be something to it.
There might be something to it. And then I found out I was related to him. He was a cousin. And I just was like, well, I've got to explore this.
Well, and so the podcast explores the fascination with Bigfoot. I mean, did you find things out through doing the podcast that you didn't realize you'd find out before you did it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of really interesting science that I've found out, stuff about evolution, stuff about DNA analysis, and just some general natural world, biological world type things. And then I just didn't realize how extensive the Bigfoot world is.
Yeah.
And kind of went down this rabbit hole.
You
and
can't get out
Yeah, you
now.
can't get out,
You
exactly.
can't get
Like,
out.
it just keeps going deeper and deeper, and there's more and more holes. So, but it's been a lot of fun to meet all of these different people and talk to them and hear their stories.
Yeah.
And,
So now do you believe?
I can't answer that question. I'd give away the ending of the podcast.
So the podcast is pretty easy to find. Of course, if you have an iPhone, you can look for it on iTunes.
Yep.
But there's also a website. It's pretty easily available out there.
Website is wildthingpodcast.com. That's all one word. And
Yeah.
then we're available on all of the other podcast platforms.
And the cool thing about podcasts is if you've missed it, because obviously you're a few episodes in here, you can go back and just listen from the beginning. And will people discover things they didn't know? Will they have new insight to maybe the Bigfoot world they didn't have before?
I hope so. I think for people who are really steeped in the world of Bigfoot, some of this is going to be old material, but I hope I'm presenting in a way that's a lot of fun for them too. But it's really meant for everyone, and even for the kids to some degree. There's a couple of swear words in there. But there might be a clean version coming out in December. I've been asked if I can make a clean version.
I like it. My kids are fascinated by Bigfoot, so they would love to listen to that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Check it out. Again, you can find it real easily on the web or on iTunes and such. And, I believe so.
Can I ask one question, though?
No.
If Bigfoot wore a U.S. shoe size, do we know what size it would be?
Well, let's see. Foot is maybe like 20 inches long.
That's what they're saying, 20 inches long?
Yeah, 18 to 20 inches.
So it's got to be like a size 20,
yeah, but
25?
what would the width be? Like
It'd be,
triple F?
oh, W. It'd be a wide size. You'd have to get the W. I don't know. Thanks, Sam.
Oh, sorry, guys. I just had to